Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community. We call the daily Bible reading our spiritual manna. This daily manna nourishes our souls and fosters spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. The lectionary reading for Tuesday, February the 25th, 2025, is from the Old Testament book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24, verses 1 to 22. A story of temptation and timing. King Saul sits on the throne of Israel, but God has instructed his own prophet Samuel to anoint a younger man named David as Saul's successor. You've likely heard how David killed the giant Goliath with a stone in his slingshot. Well, this is the David in our story. King Saul wants David dead. He pursues him with 3,000 armed men, attempting to capture and kill him. David's army consists of 600 loyal bandits. David and his men are hiding at the back of a large cave. They look in disbelief at who is entering the cave. It is none other than King Saul. Does he know that David and his men are there? They hold their breath, and the men hear what sounds like running water. Waterfalls surrounded the cave, but this sound was more familiar. King Saul was having a pee to relieve himself and was preparing to take care of his other bathroom duties in the cave. David's men whispered to him, "This is it. Can you believe it? This is the day God spoke of when he promised to deliver your enemies into your hands." David crept up behind Saul and cut off a corner of his robe. David immediately felt guilty for giving in to temptation. He returned to his men and said, "I shouldn't have done that. Saul is God's anointed king, and we aren't going to give in to temptation. Saul is in a vulnerable position, and we must leave him be. The timing is not right to kill him." As Saul left the cave, David called out to him as he knelt in reverence, "My master, my king." Saul turned around, and David continued, "Why do you listen to those who say I'm out to get you? I could have killed you in the cave when you were most vulnerable. My men urged me to kill you, but I could not do it." David kept speaking to Saul. "I'm not against you. I haven't sinned against you, yet you continue to pursue me to kill me. But look, I spared your life. I told my men I wouldn't harm the one the Lord anointed as king. Oh, my father, here's a piece of your robe." David showed Saul the fabric he had cut from his robe while he was relieving himself in the cave. When Saul realized what had just occurred, that a piece of his robe had been cut off, he wept loudly. Saul answered, "My son David, you are right, not me. You've done good to me, and I've heaped evil upon you. you still treat me generously. God had placed me in your hands, and you didn't kill me." At that moment, Saul realized he had failed to obey God and that God would now appoint David to be the next king of Israel because David did not run ahead and yield to the temptation to kill Saul to become king. Instead, David wanted to wait for God's timing in the matter. Saul continued, "I know now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you will be the next king. But please swear and promise me under God that you will not kill off my family or wipe my name off the books." Saul now knows he has lost the throne. David promised Saul that he would not kill off Saul's family line when he came to the throne, as was customary in ancient times. Thus, the conflict and restlessness in Israel will now end. Saul will return home, and David and his men will return to their home in the wilderness. Can you relate to David, who recognized how easy it is to give in to temptations? David teaches us that we must take responsibility for the temptations we face, but we must leave the timing to God to help us resolve the conflicts in our lives. If you enjoy my storytelling, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more Bible stories.